Hi folks, and welcome to another episode of Poverty Proof, how the rich think differently and how you can train your brain for wealth. Today we're going to go into quite a lot of depth on an interesting thought. Over the past few videos I've been building up a theme with you, and we're going to go one step further here today. Our starting point is to ask a very simple but very important question. If you are intent on building wealth, should you ever get a job? Or should you simply bypass that and, like say the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, build your empire from the age of 16, 17? There is an answer to this one, and the answer is this. In order to be the boss, you need to have a degree of experience, enough experience so that you can see how the whole picture works. Now, someone like Mark Zuckerberg perhaps did not have a previous job, but he did spend years tinkering with the tech, and he understood how that worked. Now, that is the critical part when it comes to creating something that generates money for you. Do you have enough total experience to have a total picture of how that thing works? So, for most people starting, say, straight out of school or straight out of varsity, the answer to the question, should you just start your own business right away, is probably no. Wiser to start with a job, but there is a great danger in getting comfortable in the job. Here's what happens. You start with your new career and you buy things based on that. You buy the car, you get the contracts, things of that nature, and it starts to become comfortable. More than that, you are psychologically incentivized to progress. You get your first promotion, you start to earn more, and you start to realize that you can do this. That is a very subtle poverty trap. Perhaps it's going too far to say poverty trap because it doesn't keep you in poverty, but it certainly prevents you from becoming wealthy. Now, as we know by now, the true wealth is to be found at what we call the point of sale. Point of sale is where all wealth generates. Very simply, it goes like this. If a business doesn't sell something, if a person or another business doesn't hand over money in exchange, they are not making money. It doesn't matter how technically competent they are. It doesn't matter how nice their pot plants or their offices are. Point of sale is what generates money. Now, therein lies a very interesting observation. Should you become the boss of your own company? Well, yes, but it's not an agile or perfectly insightful answer. That's almost a clumsy way of expressing the thing. Here's what matters. Point of sale and ownership of point of sale. That's the part that actually makes you rich. Now, it's very likely that that will mean owning your own company or becoming your own boss. But it's not absolutely necessary. You could take a look at the point of sale, trace it backwards and say, well, actually, I don't need an entire organization to support that. I can do that online and I can partner with others. In which case, you don't become the boss, but you do own the point of sale. So, our mental exercise goes like this. Should you get a job? Well, only in order to do reconnaissance and to figure out how point of sale works and how that entire mechanism generates money. The point is not to become a boss. The point is ownership of a money-generating enterprise. That might mean that you hire people and departments and have lovely pot plants, or it might not. It might mean that you look at how point of sale works and discover that all you need to do is create an infrastructure around it. Perhaps something digital, perhaps you're selling to someone else, partnering with someone else. The point is point of sale and ownership of that. So, if you are going to start your own business, if you do want to become your own boss, or if you want to figure out how that works in your chosen field or chosen path to wealth, then what I would recommend is, in fact, taking a job, but making sure that you approach it as a reconnaissance mission. You are not there to start a career. You are there to discover how it works. You are there to learn what goes wrong. You're there to figure out who sells to who interacts with who, what supports that, and if you were to do it, who you would need to hire, what problems you would need to solve, and more than anything, how you encourage and incentivize point of sale. So, is it a good idea to become your own boss? Well, yes, that is largely the point, but it's shorthand for saying you should own the point of sale. Ownership of that is everything. That is the path to big wealth. The great threat in starting out a career is comfort and momentum. If you are going to do this, you have to do it with a very rigid, disciplined mindset, and you have to know going in that the point is not to build. The point is to learn.